that we were expecting from the Arab League. We heard from the spokesperson before that who said that the League were unanimous in their decision that they would try and pressure Libya in some way to end the violence, but it seems that we're not looking at any kind of sanctions or anything other really than this statement at this point. It will not come as welcome news, I think, to people here or in Libya who perhaps weren't expecting the Arab League to go any further, but certainly be disappointed. We've already got some reaction from Mohammed al-Baradei, opposition figure here and political reformist, who has been saying that this is indeed a very weak statement by the Arab League and is called for that body to do more to try and help the people in Libya right now.
All right, Shireen Tadros in Cairo with the latest from the Arab League. And if the Arab League's comments were somewhat weak, let me just tell you what we've just heard from Angela Merkel in Germany. Just a quick flash coming across here. Merkel says Gaddafi's speech was very, very frightening. Let's show you one of the things that he had to say that may have prompted that response from Angela Merkel.
Peaceful demonstration is different, and the undermining of the sovereignty is a different matter. The world must understand peaceful demonstration is different. Libyan people don't need to go to demonstrations. They can go to the People's Committee. But armed rebellion to disconnect Derna or Beida or Benghazi, it's a different matter. We will not allow it.
With me on the set still, Ibrahim Shahrier from the Brookings Doha Centre. Thank you for staying with us and through all of this. The suggestion that the Arab League is taking action against Libya, it may be putting it a bit strongly, isn't it? I mean, what they have said is really nothing more than a verbal slap on the wrist, isn't it?
Really, we should not expect, unfortunately, as I said earlier, we should not expect much from the Arab League, because we have seen what the Arab League was able to do in Egypt. We have seen what the Arab League was able to do in Tunisia. So there is what I call it a bankruptcy of this organization that really cannot do much to deal with the level of the intensity of the crisis. However, with these limited resources and what the organization can do, there are still many things that can still be done.
By the Arab League?
By the Arab League. And one major thing is that the Arab League can do. I was really expecting that Amr Moussa, is now in Tripoli and meeting with Gaddafi and is pressuring him and is trying with him to stop the violence and to stop them attacking the people. So this is one thing that Amr Moussa can do, but unfortunately is not allowing the Libyan delegation is to attend media. That's just very disappointing.
I mean, you said the organization is bankrupt. Yeah. What do you mean by that? I mean,
well, it doesn't have really any impact, any serious impact on the developments that are happening in Libya. So it lacks. I mean,
is that through lack of will or lack of?
It's not the lack of will. It's the lack of resources. It's the lack of
but these are some of the richest countries in the world.
Efficient structure. I mean, this organization doesn't have teeth. I mean, an organization should be able to be influential and to be able to make an impact. An organization should have teeth. Like there is the Security Council. We know the Security Council, is able to mobilize force at one point under Chapter 7 if necessary. I mean, this is an organization that is able to do something if a statement is not taken seriously. But Arab League, what is the Arab League can do, really, is with the structure, the way the Arab League is structured, the way the Arab League is resourced, the way Arab League is managed. It's all it's an inefficient, very inefficient organization that
let
really
me press you
cannot
on
do
this
much
and ask why is it inefficient and why is it bankrupt? You say it has no resources, but these are some of the richest countries in the world with oil resources of enormous quantity. Yep. These are countries that can, either through social, cultural, political, economic means, put pressure on member states, and yet they don't do so.
This is very important to look at this issue at the larger level, at the macro level. I mean, the entire organization is not about this crisis only. The setup of this organization, there is no will within the members of the Arab League that to be able to do something. The issue of having a force for the Arab League was discussed so many times in the past, but there was never been an agreement on this, to do this. We have seen many resolutions or many proposals were presented to the Arab League to make it efficient and to make it up to the level and to respond to this crisis, and they all failed. So there is the way I see it. The Arab League failed on the macro, larger, contextual level. So as a result, we should expect a certain failure on this crisis, on the level of this crisis, because the way it is structured and the way it is done is, there is a serious lack of will to be able to manage the crisis in the region.
Let's turn the focus away from that for a moment and look at what's happening on Libyan state television. What we see, apparently, are thousands of people. I mean, it's hard to estimate how many people are there, but all of them apparently supporting the leader. Yeah. Is that a credible picture to you? What do you make of that?
Well, first of all, I am seeing the same exact picture, so things have not changed, and it doesn't tell me much because, again, in comparison with other previous uprisings that we have seen, we continue to see similar support, like in Egypt in particular, where the forces loyal to the regime continue to mobilize to the end. So it doesn't tell me much because first of all, it's the same picture. First of all, I don't see that there is really large number of supporters that are in the streets. And here you're talking about a few thousands, the way that we see them in the picture. But at the same time, when you switch and see the protesters' picture, you see in hundreds of thousands, people are mobilizing. So we know that the protests are taking place in Tripoli. We know that he delivered his speech from a bulletproof box, and which is again an indicator for us that there are serious matters happening. So I wouldn't count much on this picture, and unless we see something different, we should continue to assume that the situation is escalating and the protesters are taking over. Though I should warn that in Tripoli, based on what we have today, things might get really much worse than now.
All right, for the moment, thanks very much indeed. One of the events that we are seeing at the moment is a number of Tunisians who have been living in Libya trying to return to their country. The two North African countries share a 500-kilometre border. About 50,000 Tunisians work in Libya, and many of them are leaving because of the violence that's been going on. Nazanin Moshiri has been at the Ras Ajir on the Tunisian side of the border with Libya, and she sent us this report.
Well, it's been a steady stream of Tunisians coming out from this border about 100 metres away from the Libyan side, and what the Libyan forces, army and police have been doing is searching people and also taking their mobile phones and their money. Now, you can see this makeshift hospital has been set up to take in any injured from the escalating violence on the other side of the border. But this entire area is being cleared by the army, the Tunisian army, who have been asking people who are coming across the border what kind of weaponry, whether there are tanks on the other side. So this really does seem to be like an escalating situation here.
Well, the international response to what's happening in Libya has been mixed at best in the past few minutes.